Welcome to Boy Time Podcast. We're gonna get litty time, yeah. Oh, it's your Boy Time Podcast. Coming in with the slam dunk of a theme song.
Hi ho ho! Happy New Year from the Boy Time Podcast to you and yours. My name is Diego Luna. Back at it again with the best episode of the Boy Time Podcast. And as always, I'm joined by Babby and Paul.
It won't be the new year
Hello.
yet when this comes out.
No,
Rip.
So
but a
Should delay it a
preemptive
week.
happy New Year to all who celebrate.
I don't.
I don't either. I'm Hebrew. I have a different.
Go
I,
for
I
yours.
I don't even use years.
Oh, okay. Are you one of those that's like,
progressive.
it's been, what, like
Too long.
6.5 billion years that the universe has existed, so I use that as the
Yeah, you
year.
count every year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not
It's like
fair.
6.5 billion 2022 or something. I don't know.
Some random dude gets killed in Israel, and that's what we use to base our entire calendar system off of.
Yes,
Seems kind of
sir.
random to me.
A little quirky.
And then when the science people went in and they were like, we need to change this so that it isn't a religious thing. They didn't change anything except they're like, this before Christ and after death, that simply won't do. It's now Common Era and before Common Era. That
Yes,
fixes the
sir.
problem. There you go. I guess it would be pretty hard to change the calendar system this late in the game. We might
Yeah.
have a Y2K situation
locked
on
in.
our hands.
Yeah.
But as always, this is a very special episode of the Boy Time Podcast because it's the end of the year special. So across this channel and our other main channel over on Boy Time, we will be covering our top movies, TV shows, games, and albums,
More.
and more. No more. That's it.
Oh.
That's it.
Those
new
four
year.
things. The first three will be covered here, and then we'll have two album videos out on the main channel over next week. So that'll be fun, or at least I hope it's going to be next week. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I don't know how much editing we're going to want to put into this.
So much.
I don't know. I'm going to be out of
It's a
town this
special
next
after all.
weekend, so I don't know.
Oh, we'll just take a laptop with you.
I'm not going to want to edit this weekend.
It'll be fine. You're a hard worker. I know you.
Oh, yeah, you know me. Always on the grind.
You're not working on vacation. It ain't a vacation.
I need a vacation. So, yes, very good. We don't have really any news this week because it's been the holidays and whatever. Nobody wants to release anything. The only thing that did come out that I want to briefly talk about is that we did get some news on the new Avatar show that is coming out. It is the next Avatar. So the one after Korra. It's going to be an Earth Avatar. Coming out in 2025. All this stuff is like years in the future. But,
I'll
So
get
there you
excited
go.
about it in 2 years.
yep, there you go. I just thought that was interesting that it's like official. Paramount Plus and Avatar Studios are working on it. So, nice.
Nice.
But now we can jump into our lists. I don't know exactly where we want to start. We could start with gaming since we usually start with the gaming regularly on the podcast.
True.
We do.
Real.
We can do that. So for all of these, I've picked my top 5 games, TV shows. I have 6 movies because I watched one today and it just ruined everything. So,
Awesome.
oops. But that's fine. But we'll start with games. I guess we'll do 5 through 2. And then if we have any honorable mentions, we can throw those in. I don't think.
I don't either. I couldn't come up with 5, so I don't
Yeah,
have any
there you
honorable
go.
mentions.
It's been I don't know. It's kind of been a slow year for games, I would say.
True.
Not a whole lot of blockbuster smash hits. I guess we did get Elder's Ring and God of War, but I can't think of any other big boy releases. Like we got the
Big
Kirby
boy.
game, but like that's not like, you know, the super big Nintendo thing.
Groundbreaking.
Yeah. We'll be getting the new Zelda next year.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be getting. Oh, there's something else. Well, there's the new Jedi Star Wars game. But there's a what? Why can't I think of? There's something coming out next year that I just can't quite remember. Oh, it's Starfield.
Yes.
Yeah, so we'll probably talk about that later.
You know what it's not?
What?
Elder Scrolls 6. Got 'em.
Oh, there's no way. No. Yeah, I thought people are still mad about that. That they just announced like a PNG and then dipped. I was like, this is just Bethesda's whole thing. They nonchalantly brought up that they're going to be making Fallout 5 and that it's going to be like 10 years away. That's
Why
kind
they
of what
gotta
they
be
do.
like this though? Like I'm
Gotta keep
I'm gonna
interested
only
for the
live
long
through
term.
like maybe 2 more Fallout games. Come on.
Yeah.
What they need to do is have more studios. Like get Obsidian back to make Fallout or whatever.
Maybe grow a little bit, you know?
Well, I don't think that's a problem. Well, I mean, now it's Microsoft's problem. But yeah,
They could probably grow a little bit then, yeah.
yes.
Get another studio or 2.
Well, they have other studios, but they don't make like
More.
they don't make like mainline Bethesda games. They have like Arcane, and they make like Deathloop and Dishonored and stuff. And then they have like their side development team that made like Fallout 76 or whatever. So maybe don't get new developers, but get developers that are good, and maybe give them enough time to finish your product before shipping it out. So I don't know.
Yeah, then it'll take 20 years.
Yeah. I mean, Nintendo does the same thing.
Gotta give them
so,
some slack.
yeah. So there we go. We'll start off, I guess. My number 5 game of the year is the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe version.
The special edition.
The special edition.
I would never put a re-release of a game on my list.
Well, that's the thing, because this is basically Stanley Parable 2. It's just marketed as like an ultra deluxe version of the first one. But there is probably it at least like doubles the amount of stuff that's in the first one.
That's the first one.
Yes, for like the first hour or so, because the original game isn't very long, but then you add a whole bunch of stuff to it. It's really great. I'd go in knowing as little as possible. If you haven't played the Stanley Parable, then this is a pretty dang good place to start, because you get the first one and then a bunch of other stuff. If you've already played the Stanley Parable, I still think it's worth your time. It really, there's a whole lot. And it kept going. Like, I kept expecting it just to be like, okay, that was just a nice little thing they added. No, it kept going for hours and hours. And I'm like, okay, these guys really outdid themselves. Everybody wants a Stanley Parable too, so they swing back and do, haha, the Ultra Deluxe of the first one.
Let's go.
So, that is my number 5. It's very good.
Nice.
Awesome. My number 5 is Among Us VR.
Oh, great.
I love playing
Nice.
Among Us, so when they released it on VR, I was so excited to chase children around while they scream very loud.
I gotta
It's a
say
lot more spooky.
the best gaming clips of the year have come from Among Us
it's come
VR.
from Among Us VR. That's all I have to say about Among Us VR. It's just Among Us in VR. That's it. You have little hands and you
It's
can do
true.
funny dances if you want.
Well, I don't think you've played it. I haven't played it.
Yeah, but they would never know that.
Oh, so I
Well, they
shouldn't have
do
said
now,
anything.
unless you edit it out.
I'm not gonna edit this out. You kidding me?
That's right.
Yeah,
They won't know.
you
They
won't know.
won't know.
Before
Keyword,
we
you don't know.
before we move on to number 4, I want to make a quick announcement.
Uh-oh.
I forgot to do this at the beginning.
We're ending the podcast.
We're ending the podcast. This is it.
It is over.
This is the last episode.
We had a good run.
No, that's not the announcement. The announcement is that we got our Twitter back.
Hooray!
I didn't even know it was lost.
Well, it is. And you can see the tweet that got us taken down because I guess it's not bad enough for Elon's Twitter.
I guess not.
Oh, good old Jack Dorsey.
We'll have to post his doxing coordinates for that to happen.
That is true. I joked about
assassination coordinates. That's what he called
assassination. He said that.
He did, yeah.
Assassination coordinates. I wish that they were assassination coordinates.
Gotta get banned from YouTube now.
That's right.
Oh well, we'll move to what's that
Nebula?
discount YouTube website? No, not Nebula.
What's it? Vimeo?
Yeah, Vimeo. We're moving to Vimeo now, guys. Stuff on Vimeo.
Great. Well, we're not banned yet. We were only banned on Twitter, and now we're back. I've already tweeted 3 times since we got unbanned. I was so excited. I tweeted like 2 times in 5 minutes. I just had this pent up tweet. Just I had to get out there. So there you go. Follow our Twitter at BoyTimeYT. It's a great place to go. We're looking to improve our following to follower ratio. It's actually not that bad. We're following 5 people and we have 9 followers somehow.
We're doing pretty good.
We got our followers back, which is pretty cool. Thanks, Elon.
Yay.
So, my number 4 game of the year is Cult of the Lamb, the Devolver Digital sweetheart that is sweeping the nation. Everybody loves this game. It's half roguelike, half cult simulator, I guess. It is very stressful because you have to manage the cult, and all of your cultists are weak babies that don't know how to do anything. So you're kind of micromanaging the cult, but you also have to go out and do the roguelike sections to get materials so that your cult can grow and do things without you watching them and telling them what to do. It's very nice. The roguelike sections are very good. I thought the combat was fine enough. It's not Gungeon levels of roguelike combat, but hey, you're not going to get that again, probably. I think that was once in a lifetime type game there. I don't think even Free Lives. No, that's not who did. Free Lives is the Broforce people. I don't remember who does Gungeon, but they made Exit the Gungeon and it wasn't that good. So, and then they made a Gungeon arcade cabinet, and I have not seen one in real life, but it might be fun. I think it's like a big bullet. So
that'd be accurate.
Yeah, I mean the whole thing, the entire art style of that game is just guns.
It's just bullets.
It's awesome. It's the best game of all time. But a Cult of the Lamb. No, if Gungeon was able to be nominated, it would be higher.
Yeah.
Cult of the Lamb's great though. I recommend it. I'm giving a thumbs up, but you can't see it.
I play games like years late.
Yeah.
Usually.
Yeah, I didn't play a whole lot of games that came out this year.
Yeah, I didn't either. Number 4. Let me make sure this game came out. Yeah, it did come out in 2022. Pokemon Legends Arceus at 4.
Oh, there you go.
This was the first open world Pokemon game. It wasn't like a new gen or anything though. It was like prequel territory.
Yeah.
Game was pretty cool. It was still like very much an experiment that they used now for the flagship games, which works pretty well. But it's a lot of fun. Pokemon games are always like, the graphics are bad. The stories are usually like nobody cares, but the actual gameplay of it is always good. There's always the Pokemon formula works every time. It's just a good time, no matter what. I don't think this game had too many issues. It was just the graphics wise. I think people had issues.
Oh yeah,
which hasn't gone away
bad.
because they don't know how to make good graphics somehow.
They were pretty good. They were pretty good at making pixel art. And
yes,
now that they've transitioned to 3D, they just 3D, don't know what they're doing.
They're struggling a little bit.
We'll get
They'll
there.
get there
Just
in
give
10
them
years.
time. Give
Yeah,
them time.
that's right. It's only funny glitches that happen in these games, which I can live with.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
As long as
Funny
it
glitches
isn't
are
game
nice.
breaking.
Yeah, no, I haven't had any game breaking issues with these games.
Well, that's
But-
good.
Let's see at that.
It was pretty good. I don't like it as much as the other Pokemon game that came out this year, but it's pretty decent.
Okay. That's fair. You've never been much of a steampunk type fella.
Steampunk.
Isn't that the aesthetic of that game?
Nah,
No.
it's like I don't know how to explain it.
Is it like Breath
It's
of
like
the
old
Wild?
worldy, but it's not like futuristic old worldy. There's like steampunk Pokeballs, but that's about it.
Oh, I just knew about the steampunk Pokeballs.
Yeah, those were pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, I like those. Pretty neat. All right. Number 3. I think, Paul, don't you have 3? Hard to say.
What about 3?
Don't you have 3 games?
Oh, maybe. Yes, I guess.
Oh, okay. I thought you said that you had 3.
3 or so, yeah.
Okay. So you can talk about one of them.
Sure. Okay.
Talk about one of them now.
So you got.
Okay.
Okay, I was just double checking because it was early this year it came out, but may as well because I have so many hours in it and stuff. But Total War Warhammer 3 was in the what is it, Steam freaking awards thing for something. I don't know.
It was.
Oh yeah,
I
best game
forgot.
you suck at. Except
Yeah.
I'm pretty good at it, so I don't know how that works.
I guess a lot of bad people nominated it for that.
Yeah, but yeah, it's. I mean, it's a type of game you have to be into, like almost like think like tabletop kind of like what do you call them, like
Warhammer.
tabletop Warhammer battle stuff like that. Yeah, but it's much more kind of realistic battles, as in like you have actual like units of like 100 men, you have like 10 of them all that. But whatever, it's a fun game. The AI is always really anti-player in the game, and it makes it really hard sometimes. But it's really feels really good once you get good at it. Graphics are pretty decent. Battles are always so cool. You're always like, yeah, look at them killing each other. It's so cool.
Yeah.
Look at those arrows fly and those cannons fire.
Yeah.
Oh, there goes the wall.
Oh, got him.
Got him.
That's always the best part of those games is just watching everybody, everybody die on the enemy team,
Yeah.
and then you just sit back and maniacally laugh.
Yeah. And then you get those last stand moments, or those moments where you're like outnumbered 2-1, and then because you're a player and not a dumb AI, you win, and you're like, yeah, I'm good at this game.
Yes, those are the best. That's the best
Oh,
feeling
yeah.
in the whole world. It's even
Yeah.
better than smooching one of the homies.
Oh yeah,
Always
close.
Close. Close.
Close. Very close.
Okay, great. My number 3 is Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker saga. I forgot this came out this year, but I guess technically it did in April, which seems like too long ago.
Because it was.
It was. This is the 5th Lego Star Wars game. It's the first Star Wars game that has every single movie in it. Well, that's not true. Every single mainline Star Wars movie in it. It doesn't have Rogue One or Solo or the Star Wars Holiday Special or whatever. Which is technically a movie, if you think about it. And it's pretty decent. I don't know. What do you want me to say about this game? It does all the movies pretty well. The voice acting is pretty good. I don't have a problem with it. I know some people were like, I don't like voice acting in Lego games. But I thought that the voice actors they got were pretty good. All except for Leia. Leia, I thought, did not have a very good voice actor. But whoever did Rey was like sounded exactly like Daisy Ridley. It might be Daisy Ridley. I don't know if she's doing anything right now. She was in that like 12 minutes game with Willem Dafoe.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know if she's doing anything. If she's desperate enough, she might return to Star Wars. But I don't know if she's reached that level of desperation yet. I know John Boyega has not, and I don't blame him, even though he's the most interesting character, in my opinion, to come out of the sequels. So maybe Disney should just give him like $20 billion and then maybe he'd come back and then get a good writer. But the game's pretty decent. I would say that the boss fights are kind of repetitive because they're kind of copy-paste of each other. They all have the same moves, whatnot, which is kind of lame. And there were a lot of glitches and bugs when it came out. But I enjoyed my time with it. It was a nice romp, but nothing earth-shattering, I would say. But a solid game. Plus, it was just added to Xbox Game Pass, so there you go. You can just get it for free. Well, not free, but if you have Xbox Game Pass.
$10.
Yeah. So that's my number 3 game.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Thank you.
Number 3, I have Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
Wow.
This is the Call of Duty game. My lists are always bad with this because all the games I play in any given year is just the flagship titles that come out every time.
That is true.
This game's pretty decent though. Campaign I didn't finish. Besides like the blatant like whitewashing of Modern Warfare, like the campaign missions were pretty fun. I mean, I can get over the simulation of bombing Saddam Hussein in the first mission, and all that kind of stuff, because it's fun, it's quirky,
Yeah.
It's quirky.
and you shouldn't take that stuff seriously because it is blatant propaganda. But
Well, yeah.
missions are pretty fun. I still think the original Modern Warfare had some of the cooler missions, where like the one where you like raid that house, which was really cool.
No Russian.
This one you like chase after people and cross the border and then kill 2 people in their house when they try to defend themselves. That's really cool.
That's fun.
Yeah, but there's like cool swimming missions and stuff. Campaign's pretty decent. Multiplayer though is pretty great. I think they built off like the good parts of Modern Warfare 2019 and
How
added
many
some new
missions do you
stuff.
say?
Like the gunsmith is different. Like every gun has like different receivers and everything. So the progression is completely different. I think it's easier and like more entertaining to grind for stuff, because not every weapon just has 70 levels to it. It's like you go like 15 levels on one gun and you unlock the base for another gun. So that's
Oh
constantly
man, I remember that.
constantly getting stuff. So
Yeah, that's good.
it's a lot better. Camos are also a lot easier. You only need to do 4 camo challenges per gun. And then you like every time you unlock a camo, you can use it on any weapon, which is really cool. I hate having to like start over with the stupid baby camos for every single gun.
Yeah.
Let me find the gun that has like the cool camo, and then I can use that gun and unlock the camo and use it. So
Yeah.
stuff like that, pretty great. I don't play Warzone at all,
What?
so I can't comment on that part of the game. I'm just
Yikes.
over that. I'm just over battle royales in general. They're kind of played out.
Can't
in my
believe
opinion.
it.
Yeah,
Everyone loves a good battle royale.
everybody loves battle royales.
It's 2017 and everyone
my
loves
God.
battle royale.
I still
That's
play
crazy.
PUBG, guys. It's so fun.
I'm also Chinese.
Yeah, I mean, I do like that it's on Steam too. Like I don't have to go through
That is
Battle.net
nice.
anymore.
Yeah.
That's a dub.
Battle.net sucks.
Performance is actually pretty good on lower end PCs. My 1060 does just fine with this game,
Oh, that's good.
which is good. I mean, it's on low settings obviously, but it still runs really smooth. But overall, a fun arcade shooter experience that I play every once in a while. I mean, it's not going to be like anything crazy good. It's a recycled game that I play because it's a decent enough shooter where I don't have to like commit hours to it to stay good at it. So, good job.
Nice job. Infinity Ward?
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. All right. Number 2. Paul, what's your number 2 game of the year?
I just realized I only had 2, so
Oh.
Warhammer. Right.
Okay, Warhammer 3. Total War Warhammer
Yeah.
3. All right. Well, just copy paste everything Paul said and put it in this one.
Yeah.
My number 2 is Elder's Ring. I think that I dedicate this to my gay Orthodox Reformed Rabbi Bill Clinton. That's a reference.
Interesting.
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 Someone didn't watch the Game Awards.
No, I didn't.
He was in the hospital during that.
Elder's Ring, pretty good. It's probably my second favorite FromSoft game. I've been replaying Sekiro, and man, I forgot how good that game is. But Elder Ring, pretty good. It's kind of overwhelming at first, and I feel like some classes are exponentially better than others. So if you pick a wrong one, then you can just have a bad experience in your first time playing, which is exactly what I did. Maybe the classes have been balanced since day one. I don't know. But on launch, it was a little wonky, but I did sink a lot of hours into the game because it is very fun. And I didn't even use magic, and I had a good time.
Neither did I.
Ah, good
I
for
used
us.
magic, not that I didn't have a good time.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, it's good. It was a good game. And George R. R. Martin's story, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care about the story in any of these games.
Too confusing.
Too confusing, and
Just watch an hour-long lore video. Boom, done.
I don't even care
After
enough
you
to do
finish the
that.
game.
There's when it gets to like fantasy stuff, like FromSoft stuff, where it's like, oh, this is Malenia, the daughter of Malignant, and I'm like, fuck off. That's all boring bullshit. I am immediately turned off
Let me
whenever it
kill
gets.
her.
Let me kill her.
If the family members go further than just the parents, and there's like the grandparents, or there's some cousin, like no, that's too much. Just kill them off. Just have it like the dad or something, you know.
The fact
Just
that
make it simple.
the fact that George R. R. Martin spent like months and years developing the lore for this story just for me to whack the characters with a big stick, not caring about their backstory at all. Maybe he should have made a new Game of Thrones book.
There you go.
That would have been a better use of his time, I think.
Much better.
Still a good game, though.
Yes.
But that is Elder's Ring, my number 2.
Who's next?
You.
Me.
Not me.
You.
Number 2, I have Stray, the cat game.
Oh, that's a good one.
It's a very good little indie game. It's only like 5 hours long, and the story's kind of alright. But the main draw of this game is you get to be a cat and maneuver like a cat. And honestly, that's like all I need to entertain me, I think.
Very true.
You're in like this weird like cyberpunk future with the robots and everything. But you can like do cat shenanigans, like knock things over, and crawl through secret passages and just like jump crazy heights and everything. The movement's very fun. It's weird that like a cat has to save like these robots because they're too stupid to go outside. That's pretty much the storyline. So a very cat thing, I guess. Like where it's like these people are stupid. I am the best thing ever made. That's pretty much this game.
Okay.
And you can like collect little music things, and then you give them to a robot with a guitar, and they play nice songs, and you can just like lay next to him while he plays nice songs.
Well,
Nice.
that sounds beautiful.
It's a very cozy little game.
Yeah.
It's very easy too, but it's a fun time to just kind of like roam around and stuff. So
That seems like
cool
a
little
nice
indie
theme.
game.
Yeah.
I think it got nominated for maybe way too much this year, just knowing what else came out. But like, 'cause of
What
how,
else
like,
is gonna get
small of a game it
nominated?
is, but it was pretty good. It was pretty good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's your number 2.
Yeah.
Can't be that bad. All right.
Decent.
It's our number 1 game of the year. Is Elder's Ring gonna sweep the floor, or is Genshin Impact going to have an upset?
It didn't even come out this year.
Hard to say. It still got
Hey
nominated.
guys, I gotta vote for Genshin Impact.
Or is Xenoblade Chronicles 3
Ooh, I
gonna
gotta change my
sweep?
list real quick. Forgot
We'll,
about Xenoblade 3.
we'll deal with that right after this short ad break. All right,
break
welcome
time.
back.
Still Swift here.
Phil Swift here. Please buy our Xbox products. That's how Phil Swift talks, doesn't he?
Probably.
Hey
Not
guys,
wrong.
this is my new Xbox. It's really, really cool and super powerful. The power of Xbox.
Yeah, that's him.
Okay, thank you. I am a professional impressionist.
You are.
Thank you, thank you. Okay, number one, game of the year. Paul, what's your game of the year?
Elden Scrolls.
Oh, Elden
Probably.
Scroll.
Let's go.
It's just a fun game.
Yeah, you can whack stuff with
baby
your
game.
big stick.
Big
Sa-
stick. Oh, boom.
Samurai class is the best, in my opinion.
I was the boring boy knight.
I tried that and then I
Yes,
had
why not?
lost. I got frustrated and then I saw online that Samurai class is best class. So like that could be fun to
Look
me.
at this. Look at this guy min-maxing. Wow.
It's cause I could.
Min-maxing on Elden Scroll.
It's cause I couldn't do very well, and I'm like, did I do it wrong? Did I do wrong just by picking the default class? Because I feel like I did, because there was a lot of interesting classes here. And then everyone was
Yeah,
like,
this
yes.
is my first Scrolls Light game. And I was able to do it.
Well, I'm not very good at that Souls like games. I'm good at Sekiro, and
You
that's
think
about
I
it.
am?
I don't know. Apparently you're better than I am.
I thought I actually got kind of decent at it.
It's fun. I like riding the horse around.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
The horse is the best. All right, my number one game of the year is God of War 2.
Ooh.
Surprise, surprise.
That game came out a long time ago.
was like-
like a month and a half ago, I think.
Very
Nah,
long
the
ago.
original
Yikes.
God of War 2. That
Oh,
was
God of War 2. Yeah, that was on the
Thor
PS3. Thor Ragnarok. Yeah. Everything I said about this game when I first played it is utterly wrong. Because I said I didn't like it, or that it was kind of repetitive, and I was not into the story at all. But oh boy, once the story gets going, it really gets going. And then that ending is just fantastic. I don't know if we're going to be getting a God of War 3, 3, 2. I don't know. I don't know what they'd call it. There wasn't like, and this is a slight spoiler for the original God of War, but it isn't anything
Don't
major.
do it.
After you finish like all the story and stuff, no story spoilers. Once you
Oh.
finish the entire like thing with God of War, then you like can go back to your house, and then when you go back to your house, then like Thor shows up, and it's like, this is going to be in the next one. But there wasn't anything like that in Ragnarok. There wasn't like an obvious like, yes, this is the next one. But I've heard that this is going to be a trilogy. I don't know. But wow. The writing in this is great. Christopher Judge definitely deserved to win for best performance for Kratos. Very, very, very great. Took everything that was great about the first game and then just expanded it, made it better. There's stakes in this game. People die. It's crazy. That
It's
doesn't
crazy.
happen. What is this? The Last of Us? A gritty, realistic drama now? I thought this was a game where you kill a dragon with an axe. It can't
Yeah.
be the same game, but it is. And you kill multiple dragons now. There's too many dragons.
Very many dragon.
Oh, that's not true. There's not too many. I think there's like 5.
That's
But
a lot of dragons.
They're all in the same area, and it's like we need to save this dying ecosystem because someone put these dragons here. And I don't know who did it, but we need to kill all these dragons so that the deer can survive.
Let's play Who Done It.
Yeah, well, it was probably Thor.
God dang
That
it,
guy's
Thor.
an asshole. Everybody hates Thor.
I hate Thor.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Like, they really just took, like, because all the MCU stuff where it's like, Thor is, like, this hero guy, but in, like, the actual mythology, Thor just, like, murders everybody. He kills everybody in the giant race. He just does an entire, like, genocide. And then Marvel was like, we're going to make this guy the good guy because he has a cool hammer.
In a
Why
word.
not Loki, the funny guy? He's the good guy, right?
He's
He's
no,
the
no, he's
chaos
not the
guy.
good guy either.
Oh,
I don't think there is a good guy in Norse mythology.
there never is in mythology.
No. It's like
Any.
Greeks, you could probably find like one or two gods that are pretty
No,
chill.
I don't think so.
You don't think you could find just one? What
I
about
don't think so.
Aphrodite? You don't think she's chill?
I'm sure she's killed some demigod or something.
That's fine, but she's super hot though. That's pretty fun. What about Orpheus?
I don't even remember who that
Morpheus.
is.
Isn't that the Orpheus? Is that the guy that goes into the cave?
You mean
And he's like,
Morbius?
not Morbius. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Orpheus, isn't he the guy that goes into the cave because his wife gets bitten by a snake, and then he's like, I need to go to hell. And then Hades is like, I'll give you your wife back, but you can't look behind you. If you do, then she will die and come back to me. And then he goes and he's like one step out of the cave, and then he turns around, and then his wife's like, no, why did you do that, you stupid idiot? You had one job.
Idiot.
Where did I hear that from recently? I swear I heard that recently, but I don't know where.
Yeah, I just told you.
No, not. I mean before that.
I think that's Orpheus. I should probably look up.
I don't know.
It sounds like it. Yeah, Orpheus and Eurydice. Eurydice's nuts.
Cool.
Got him.
Thank you.
That was
Thank
all
you.
set up.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, let's move on to show
I didn't
news.
say mine yet.
Oh, I forgot.
That's crazy.
I know what yours is. We don't need
It's
to
Elden
say.
Ring.
It's Elder's
Yeah,
Ring?
as long-
Just kidding. I haven't played it yet. I'm sure it will be
Late.
next year when I play it.
Okay, great.
My number one is Pokemon Violet.
Oh,
Not
Hooray.
Scarlet?
Nah, Scarlet's
What are you,
stupid.
royal? You're royalty?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I love purple.
Okay.
Um, this is like the first flagship Pokemon game with open world, and it works really well. That being said, the game has horrible graphics, and there's a lot of glitches and FPS drops. But the gameplay is really fun, and it's a different take, and I really enjoy it. There's like 3 different like main quests you can do, so you're not just doing the same Pokemon formula all the time. And the starters pretty decent. A lot of the new Pokemon are pretty cool. A lot of them are very OP. I think most of them got banned in competitive play because every one of them has a game-breaking move, which is kind of fun when you're playing against bots.
thanks,
It's
Nintendo.
kind of crazy. But even like the game-specific Pokemon are like, if you got Violet, you get future Pokemon, so they're all robot-y and cool. And if you get Scarlet, they're like dinosaurs. Which are pretty cool as well. But I liked how
Dinosaur.
open the game was. It was very open world, kind of choose your own adventure, go at your own pace kind of style, which was different. I'm sick of Pokemon games like babying people too much, where it's like you must go down this route at this point of the game. This one you have access to all areas like from the beginning, pretty much. The issue is like I would run into areas that are way over leveled and they get destroyed and have to go back. But it worked
Speaking of-
out for a good formula, so I had a lot of fun with it. It's not perfect at all yet, but we're getting there.
Getting so
We're
close.
getting there.
True.
Yeah.
And speaking of babying, what's the difficulty like? Because everyone always complains these are too easy.
It wasn't bad in this one because
Mm.
because it's not structured like usual games, you don't over level. So it's like very and the AI isn't terrible. I think there was one boss battle where the AI had a little bit of an oopsie and kept trying to hit a ghost type with a normal move and couldn't, even though it had moves that could hit a ghost type. But that was the only time where I was like, oh,
funny.
yeah, the game isn't working as intended there. At least I hope it wasn't working as intended because that guy's an idiot.
Now his AI was just made to be dumb. He
Yeah.
was just not very.
There were
wasn't
times
very
where I had
bright.
to like actually go out and grind a little bit or like actually get a better move set, which is nice. Yeah, you can't just like walk your way through the game easy peasy, which is good.
I don't know about y'all, but in an RPG, I want at least a little bit of grinding. Not
Exactly.
too much, just a healthy amount.
There was a good amount of grinding here, and there's a good
Yeah.
post game too. So
Oh, that's good.
yeah, that's my number one game.
Wow.
Yay.
Elden
That-
Ring Violet.
That's the boy
Elden
time
Violet.
spread. You got Elder's Ring, God of War, and Pokemon 17.
Let's
This
go.
is like the three-headed dragon where two of them are eating and the other one's got his tongue out.
Yeah. I didn't say it. Okay, let's move on to TV shows.
Let's go.
Paul, what TV shows did you watch this year?
I don't watch TV.
That's awesome.
I
The
kind of
local
do.
news.
The local news.
Let's go.
Great stuff.
I love CBS 57.
All right. So I guess I'll start. Number 5 for best show of the year. I guess I should probably preface my list. Mostly are shows that came out this year. One of them is a show that already existed, but I felt was so good that it probably deserved to be on here anyways. So that is that. I don't know what Babby's list rules are.
Mine's all 2022.
Okay, great.
Kind of divided and conquered to get there, but I got there.
Okay. So then my number 5 show that came out this year is a limited series on Paramount Plus. I watched it with my grandpa. It's The Offer. It's the story of the making of The Godfather. Very interesting. I very much enjoy The Godfather. Very good movie. Hot take, I think the first one's better than the second one. Just want to throw that in there, just to completely discredit myself. Not that I don't like the second one, but I just...
This whole podcast is discrediting myself. So
Okay, great. I just like Marlon Brando, and he's not in the second one, so... I guess it's just personal preference. It's fine. But the show is great. It's a real story of the producer, Al Ruddy. And man, he had to jump through some hoops to get this movie made, because the people at Paramount did not want to make this movie the way that Coppola wanted to make this movie, because of course they didn't, because Coppola is the most well, I don't want to say but he's just difficult. He's a difficult person. He wants things very particularly done. If they aren't done exactly how they are, he's gonna throw a big fit about it. That's just how he is.
No, I would.
I would too. But hey, I didn't make The Godfather 3, and he did. So
Yeah.
I still have a leg up on him a little bit. But it's a good show. Because it kind of balances, because Ruddy had to like deal with Coppola's shit, and then he had to deal with Paramount stuff, and then on top of that, he was dealing with the mob, because the mob didn't really want this movie done either, because they're like, and this was at a time in like the 70s where it was kind of like post civil rights stuff, but there was this guy, I forget his name, who founded the Italian American, is it Civil Rights Union? It's something like that. I don't remember what it's called. But suffice to say that Italian people were sick of being known as gangsters and mafioso. So they weren't really excited about this movie coming out that is, a big budget movie about an Italian mob. But the mob plays such a small part in that movie that it is, fine. And they actually loved it. So that's nice. But yeah, good show. It's a limited series, so it's just a little one and done thing, which I'm always a fan of. Has Colin Hanks in it. Has Miles Teller in it. Has the chick from Ted Lasso in it. Is there someone else? Oh, Giovanni Ribisi. Giovanni. He's an actual Italian, and he plays the Italian guy.
I couldn't tell.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's a good show. I recommend it. Very good. Is it worth getting Paramount Plus for? My grandpa already had it, so I didn't have to worry about that.
Easy win.
Yeah, there you go. My number 5.
Awesome. Number 5, I had Inside Job. Season 1 came out in 2021, but season 2 came out this year, so it counts. Yeah, this is a pretty good adult animated show. Alex Hirsch On
Good
I think
boy.
he directed it. Yeah, he's one of my favorites when it comes to animation. So, but yeah, I feel like the idea of like a conspiracy theory adult animated show of like a secret government like underbelly is kind of fun for an idea. I do think the first season is a lot better than the second season.
I would agree.
Just because the charm of it was there for the entire first season.
And man, it was funny. When we
it
were
was
watching it
really
in person, we were
Yeah.
cackling like
It was
hounds.
fantastic. There's like if you know any conspiracy theories, like, they have them all plastered everywhere.
Yeah.
They go from like the basic ones to like some that are like a little bit deeper and stuff that are really cool. But yeah, I mean, actors in it are pretty great. I feel like all the characters are really well done as well. Yeah, very good adult animated show that doesn't like do the typical adult animated show things, which I always try to avoid.
Yeah.
But yeah, very good.
Yes, very good show. I forgot about that. But I don't think the second season would make my list, honestly. It was alright.
Yeah, I just put it on there because like it came out this year, but
It
I don't
did.
want to talk about the first season.
Yeah. I didn't think that the second season was bad. It just wasn't.
No,
as
it wasn't
good.
bad. It just was not nearly as good as the first one.
Yeah. Yes. Very, very good. My number 4, a little show called Our Flag Means Death, aka the Gay Pirate Show, as it's known around here. What a good show. It's a very good show. Gotta love Taika Waititi. Which I guess is a controversial thing to say now that he made Thor Love and Thunder, but hey, I still love the guy. Everyone's allowed to slip once. You know? I don't know how you can make Thor Ragnarok and Jojo Rabbit back to back and then you slip once and everyone thinks he's like the worst director of all time. It's like, bruh, those are 2 great movies. Jojo Rabbit's fantastic. It's great. He plays Hitler. Do you know that? Did you know that he plays Hitler in the movie?
That's awesome.
It's awesome. Taika just needs to act more. I love him. He's so like expressive and fun. He's like my favorite character in What We Do in the Shadows. The movie, not the show, because he's not in the show. Our Flag Means Death. It's a love story between the gentleman pirate Steed Bonnet and Blackbeard. They learn to love each other, and the end of season 1 was such a cliffhanger. I can't wait for the beginning of season 2, which I believe it just wrapped filming. So, be getting that soon, probably next year, which I'm excited for. Very, very good show. It's on HBO Max. It's one of the few HBO Max originals that somehow did not get canceled. So, I highly recommend it. It was one of those that was like, I don't know if I'm going to watch it. You know, I like Taika, but is this show really going to be that good? And oh boy, it's fun. It's a good show. If you like shows like Ted Lasso or whatever, that are like fun little dramas with like a small cast of characters and they just go on adventures and there's a whole lot of heart to it, can't go wrong. This one has a little bit more edge. And there's there's not a lot of gore in it, but there's a decent amount of gore in it. So there's that spice, which I like. So that is my number 4.
Epic. I had Atlanta season 4 as my number 4. Convenient.
Oh, convenient.
I split them up into 2 seasons because there's a lot of content.
There's
So, yeah, season 4 was really great. I think it was a really good ending of the series. I put season 3 higher for different reasons. But I think it came back to what it felt like in the first and second season with season 4.
yes.
Stuff actually in Atlanta, that is. But a lot of cool ideas tackled, a lot of fun episodes. It's not as trippy as season 3.
No.
But there were a lot of really fun episodes, like the TV studio episode was really cool.
Yeah.
I also really liked the finale was really great too.
Yeah.
And the premiere of like the Target looting was hilarious. That was great.
I was thinking about that. That episode came to mind the other day, and I had to smile about it. I just remembered he went to return something at this Target that was being like looted, and so they said that he couldn't do it. And so then the rest of the day, he's being chased by like a lady in an electric wheelchair.
and that's like based off the real the real events. It's funny.
It's funny.
But yeah, the show melds crazy, outlandish things with things that actually happen, so it kind of blurs the line of like what's considered crazy and what's not considered crazy. Kind of just pointing out the juxtaposition of how wild things are sometimes, and often, I would say.
Very often, yes.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this season a lot. I think he kind of knocked it out of the park with season 3 and 4 in 1 year. They
I
kinda
would
killed
agree.
it.
It's kind of crazy that both of them came out in the same year.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll be hearing more about that later for me.
True.
Well, and for you, I guess, with season 3.
Yeah.
But speaking of number three, by all of the, well, not all of these, but we've been talking about a lot of comedy shows, which we usually watch depressing dramas together, which is
Usually.
weird. But number 3 is Smiling Friends.
Oh yeah.
This is a great show. I'm currently wearing a Smiling Friends shirt.
Ooh.
I love this show. I think I've seen like all of it like 3 or 4 times at this point. It's so much fun. It's that perfect, like, I want to say Zoomer humor, because there's a lot of like, I don't know if like, I don't think this is a show you show your mom. It's like, oh, what are you watching? Oh, watch this show with me, where they have to talk this guy out of killing himself, and it's kind of sad and depressing. But he's voiced by Mike from Red Letter Media, so that's kind of funny. It's a great show. It's one of the funniest shows I've seen in a really long time. Very pumped for season 2. Hopefully that comes out soon. So check it out. Very good. HBO Max. There you go.
True. I forgot that came out this year, so I would put that at like number 2 probably.
Okay.
I really enjoyed it, but that's unofficial. That's
Unofficial.
my list. If I did realize that Smiling Friends came out in 2022.
That's fair.
My real number 3 is 1899.
Spooky.
The new show by the Dark Makers. The
Dark
makers of
Maker.
Dark. I don't know their names. I'm not gonna know their names.
German.
Yeah. But yeah, basically, new series. There's gonna be multiple seasons. Spoiler alert.
What?
But basically,
Believe
the premise is it's a multinational cruise to the U.S. And they stumble across a boat that was lost at sea for about 4 months, and lots of shenanigans ensue. It's kind of like it starts as like a ghost show, and then turns into a crazy wacko. Like, I don't want to give anything away, but it's crazy and wacko as you'd expect if you've seen the TV show Dark.
The TV show Dark, yes.
Lots of shenanigans ensue. It goes everywhere. Yeah, I think it's very convoluted, but there's a lot to dig into. There's little Easter eggs and hints sprawled across all of it. It's like you're watching an escape room that you're participating in actively, and they pull out the rug from you multiple times. While you're watching, you'll have one theory in your head going, and all of a sudden an episode will end, and it'll like end it on like some crazy thing that completely recontextualizes everything. It's a really fun ride. It's definitely heady. You need to be very attentive while watching it. So, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. I'm so ready for season 2. This one's a lot more sci-fi than Dark was too. But yeah, very good. I would recommend. But yeah, just know that it is a lot to take in.
Oh, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to watch that one. It seems like too heady for me.
Yeah,
And I hate art.
I hate art. It's not necessarily artsy, but like if you read into the artsy details, then it kind of like shows you what it's about, or like it gives you hints early on about what's going on.
Oh, okay. My number 2, speaking of I hate art, is Andor. Surprise.
what?
Andor. Show, a Star Wars show.
Oh.
Wouldn't usually say that a Star Wars show is in my top 5 shows of the year unless I was desperate. But I didn't even need to be desperate this time. This is just a really, really good show. Honestly, I think it's for sure the best thing that Disney has done with the property. Tony Gilroy has kind of cemented himself as a like a trusted guy to go to for Star Wars now, mainly because he's not a Star Wars fan, which is always good. Jon Favreau, I love you, but because he's like a fan of all the stuff, he wants to see all the things that he liked in his shows. So it's like The Mandalorian brings back Ahsoka and brings back Boba Fett and brings back Luke Skywalker. And it's like, bruh, this was a space western at one point. Remember that? It was a cowboy show.
Remember?
What?
And now it's a Jedi show where we're getting Weewo with the Force. Yeah. Ooh. Andor says, no, stop it. None of that. I hate all that cameo stuff. Let's just do like a psychological deep dive, a political show detailing the start of a terrorist cell that are the
So-
good guys. Interesting. I don't know. A lot of stuff gets brought up about the morality of all this things. There's a whole lot of there's stakes in this show. People will backstab each other for the cause. It's like this is like the Rebel Alliance at the very base of it. As it's like a bunch of like these little tiny rebellion groups all kind of eventually gonna start working together. But for now it's like we have to overthrow the Empire. I will kill you or not tell you valuable information so that my cell will live on and hopefully we will take them down. Eventually, maybe. I don't know. Also assassinate this person. It's like it's ruthless and cutthroat and the lengths that all of these little cells are going through for the eventual overturn of this fascist dictatorship is kind of it's a weird balance, and it shows that very well. Which doesn't even sound like I'm talking about a Star Wars show at this point. It just sounds like I'm talking about some freaking historical biopic about I don't know Saddam Hussein.
You had to pick one person.
The big one guy. I don't know. Yeah, it's great. And also, like at the same time, we're seeing these rebel cells being awful. It's like, oh, are these even like the good guys? Then at the same time, we're seeing like Imperial intelligence, and they're just like torturing people left and right. And it's like, oh, I guess the rebel cells are better, but like none of this is great. It's fun. It's fun. Plus, you get to see Mon Mothma. I love Mon Mothma. She's in like one scene in Return of the Jedi. She says, "Many Bothans died to give us this information," and then she's never seen from again. But she was like instrumental in kind of bringing everybody together, and we get to see that. We get to see her in the Imperial Senate, which we have never seen before. Turns out, not a whole lot gets done there, as you can probably guess, because it's a fascist dictatorship now. It's great. I really love it. There's like 3 or 4 arcs that take place over the show. The prison arc is phenomenal. Like it might be like the best TV I've seen this year. It is like really, really good. The fact that this is a Star Wars show is utterly astonishing to me. But this is like the first time in a while where I was like actually excited to like see what was going to happen every week. So I'm like, oh man, this is like really, really good. And it's not like, well, I have to watch this episode of The Mandalorian that came out because if I don't, then everything else isn't going to make sense in the stuff that I actually like. So, yeah. Watch Andor. I went in with like the lowest expectations. I hate Rogue One. Man, this is a really good show though. So, yeah, I got owned. Our friend Grant gives me crap for it all the time. He's like, you thought this was gonna be a bad show. I'm like, yeah, I did. You're just lucky that this is a good show.
Demolished.
You coward. It's like the one time he was excited for a Star Wars thing, and he gets a good thing, and I get excited for every Star Wars thing that's bad. So
He knows how to manage his expectations.
he does, and I hate him for it. He was also sending me pictures. He was in California. He was at the Star Wars world, and he's like, look at this cool thing that I'm doing. Look at this. Like, you coward, stop sending me these pictures. I'm so jealous of you. So, that's my number 2 show. Very good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Number 2, I had Atlanta season 3. I
Oh.
feel like I have a hot take here in like liking season 3 more than season 4. I think most people like season 4 better.
I could see. I think season 4 is a little more accessible.
Yeah, season 3 is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
He really dug into like his surrealist arc, which I liked so much.
Yes.
I think he does that so well. He does it in season 4 too, but here it's like this black surrealism that he's kind of got going on, where it's like a lot of black issues and like this surrealist light to show how like absurd, like deep rooted white supremacy is, not only in the U.S. but abroad because they're in Europe.
Yeah,
this
they're
season.
in Europe. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, so the show tackles like so many different topics. They're deep rooted topics too, like not like just broad topics. They're very hyper specific, which I really liked. I think the first episode was like so insane. Of again a true story of like this family that would like adopt black children, and put them through like they're just awful
Yeah.
circumstances. But like child services are like, a white family. Child services doesn't look at that. It's not like a thing where like, oh, we have to get these kids out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that episode was actually insane.
Yes.
That was like
and
the
that was
first
the
thing we
first
saw.
one.
Yes, it was so insane. But yeah, just like tackling like white liberalism, how black people are treated in Europe as well, because oftentimes people look at the U.S. and be like, this is a horrible place. Europe is not much better. There's decent things for people there. Like they at least have some form of healthcare and like safety nets and stuff. But
Yeah.
there's still a lot of deep-rooted racism in Europe, and they tackle that a lot.
Yes.
There's a lot of funny wacko episodes where like they take an edible in Amsterdam, and it's like the strongest edible they've ever eaten because they just sell those at the counter in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
And it's like a whole drug trip of an episode. Yeah, there's so much going on in this season, and I loved every episode of it. It was so out there. It was so weird. You didn't know what was happening half the time, but the other half the time it was like, oh, I kind of get it now. These are like separate little pieces of like character development for each of these characters. And sometimes it's just weird and fun to be weird and fun, which is good, which is great. I feel like it encompassed like the heart of Atlanta.
Yeah.
It's the most out there season, but I think it's my favorite out of all of them.
That's a hot take.
It is.
But I think I agree
But I will
with you.
stand by it.
Yeah. It's my hot take too. I'll die on that flag. Do we have any honorable mentions before we get to number
Mine
one?
was Smiling Friends.
Okay,
but I'd put
that's
it like
fair.
at number 2 probably.
That's fair.
So,
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Very good show. I think, did Succession season 4 come out this year?
did it?
I don't remember. I think the next one's coming out next year. I was gonna do all the like new seasons of stuff in my honorable mentions. Yeah, I don't know. Let me see. Succession. This is good podcast material. I always say that.
Yes, sir.
Oh no, it came out last year.
Okay, that's what I thought. Very good though.
Very good, yes. Was there any other show? Oh, Better Call Saul. That last season's phenomenal.
Yes, sir.
I didn't put it in this list because it didn't. Well, I mean, it did come out this year. And if I was judging, man, I feel like a coward. I might.
You are.
I am a coward. Yeah, I'm. You know what? I'm gonna put Atlanta in my honorable mentions. You already gave it enough praise. It's so good. Seasons 3 and 4 are so good, but I can't not have Saul as my number 1. So that's what I'm gonna
Me
do.
too.
I had to replace it. Better Call Saul. this show is phenomenal. I think at this point it's probably as good as Breaking Bad. Honestly, I think I might prefer Saul personally.
Ooh.
That
I
being
would say
said,
that too if I wasn't watching rewatching Breaking Bad because it's so good.
Breaking Bad's so good, but
Yeah.
Saul's also like
It is.
when you'll have to rewatch it.
Yeah.
You'll have to rewatch Saul too.
Yeah, I will.
But yeah, it's a rocky first season. Like I've tried to get people into it, and they're like, "Yeah, I've gotten like 5 episodes in, and I'm still not in." I'm like, "Just come on!" Like I know it's rough, but like as soon as you get like halfway through, it's like so worth it. It's so good. This last season, man, uh, man,
Man.
Bob Odenkirk's performance is fantastic. I can't overstate how good he is. I did not know he had it in him. I know him as the funny haha Tim and Eric man, but and then he's he has his moments in Breaking Bad, but he's like more or less the comic relief. And then in Better Call Saul, oh, he's so good. I didn't know he needs to be in like big projects. I mean, I guess he was in that action movie. Nobody. But come on. Paul Thomas Anderson, get him in there. Scorsese, put him in the Native American murder movie. Make him the FBI agent. Todd needs to stop being the FBI agent and everything, even though I love
Todd is the
Todd.
perfect FBI agent.
He is the
I
perfect
want Bob
FBI.
Odenkirk to be that good guy.
Oh, okay. Bob Odenkirk was great in Fargo season 1 as the bumbling police chief.
Yeah, I did like him.
But I need to see him in serious roles because he's just utterly phenomenal. And also, not to be overshadowed, Rhea Seehorn. Oh, she gives maybe one of the best performances I've seen in my entire life. In I think the second to the last episode of Saul, where she's just crying on a bus. It is like the most realistic breakdown I've ever seen. And I've seen Marriage Story.
You.
That's a joke. So, Marriage Story is good. I don't need to get into all this. Better Call Saul. Just watch it. If you watch Breaking Bad and you were like, yeah, I started Saul but couldn't get into it, you are a coward and are missing out on some of the best TV. Honestly, as good as Breaking Bad. So, do it. There you go. That's my spiel.
Yeah, I had the same, so
Yeah.
pretty obvious.
It's so good.
It's
so
fantastic.
good.
I love it so much.
Yes. I need to rewatch the whole show because watched the last season, but Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad both are like they aren't shows that kind of like ease you back into seasons. I think Succession is the same way, where it's like you watch like the first episode of the new season and it's like the same time as the finale of the second one or the last season, which is great for like now when you can like binge stuff, but it's a little bit unfortunate when you're watching it as it's coming out because like, oh well, I don't remember what happened in the last episode that came out like a year and a half ago. So I'll have to rewatch it. But yeah, this is gonna be a hot take. Are you ready for my hot take?
I am not.
I prefer the finale of Better Call Saul to Felina.
Oh,
That was a hot take.
I haven't seen either of those, but wow.
I think they're both like pretty great.
Felina's fantastic. It's one of the best show endings of all time. But the ending of Better Call Saul, just the last like 10 minutes,
Fantastic.
Fantastic. I love it so much. I can't believe Nacho married Mike Ehrmantraut.
Yeah, it was so cute. I cried multiple times.
I did. Yeah. What a great show. Really forward thinking. All right, let's talk about movies. Everybody loves a good movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I broke the rules. We were gonna do 5. I did 6. As I'm a bad gamer.
So bad.
Because I watched The Whale this afternoon, and I cried, like for real. I haven't cried at a movie
Not
ever.
fake even.
Not fake.
Not fake,
I don't
real
cry.
Korean.
I'm one of those people that like I don't know what it is. There's something in there where every time I start to like break down, my body's like, "No, stop. You are a man. Don't do that." I couldn't hold back
Man,
these tears. The Whale was so freaking good, so I had to add it to the list. So
you are no longer a man. You have lost man
I've
privileges.
lost my man privileges. I have been emasculated. I shouldn't have admitted it on a public platform, but
Emasculated by
Blame this
Brendan
guy.
Fraser.
by Brendan Fraser. Yes, yes, my dear friend. Not the first time I've been emasculated by Brendan Fraser either.
True.
But we'll get there when we get there. I'll start. I'll do 6, and then you'll start 5, and then we'll just do it that way.
Okay.
So my number 6 movie. I should have ordered this. I'm looking at my letterbox right now. I think my number 6 is going to be The Batman. I forgot that this came out this year.
Yeah, it did.
Very good. All of these movies that I have on this list are 4.5 stars or above. I gave out 2 perfect scores, but we'll get there when we get there. The Batman, I think it came out in January. It has a kind of a toxic fan base to it. It kind of, I don't want to say it got like the Snyder heads because they don't like it, but it got like the pretentious film bro Nolan type of people. That's exactly who I'm talking
accurate,
about.
Yeah.
The people were like, you haven't seen Pulp Fiction? Like what? What? How? But you've seen like Interstellar, right? Like, come on, like those are like the 2 best movies of all time. It kind of got that audience, which kind of sucks because it's really good. It's a great return to form for Batman after Zack Snyder kind of ruined him in Batman versus Superman and Justice League. You know, I think Robert Pattinson is a great Batman. He's a better Bruce Wayne, but I think that's the problem that like every single Batman actor has had.
Yeah.
Christian Bale, great Bruce Wayne. I don't know what he's doing with the Batman stuff. He really found a funny voice and was like, I'm gonna do this. I gotta commit now. Even though it went multiple movies and it was a running joke through all of them that you couldn't understand a single word he said. And then Christopher Nolan for the last one's like, yes, let's get Tom Hardy and let's put a mask over his mouth so you're not able to understand him either. So it's just a bunch of mumbling, incoherent nonsense that's between the 2 main protagonists and antagonists of your movie. But we're not talking about Dark Knight Rises, and we're talking about the Batman. Definitely inspired by Seven. Not a bad thing. Seven is one of the best noir movies of all time. I guess technically it's a noir movie, except it came out in the 90s. But you can still make noir movies. It doesn't have to be black and white. As long as it has that kind of feel. I guess you could also call it a thriller. But whatever. It's a detective movie. It's a big mystery. I think the only thing that holds this back from being like the perfect Batman movie is I do have a couple issues with the pacing in the second act, the end of the second act. I am like in the Riddler stuff. That is like very, very compelling to me because I'm gonna sound like the people who like defend the Joker for like a second here.
And that Joker, baby.
You know, like the intolerable people who are like, the Joker is actually like the best movie that has come out in the last 3 years because it went against the woke bullshit.
Society.
Yeah, society. But the thing that's great about the Riddler is that it's almost like understandable what he's doing. He's obviously like going too far and recruiting 4chan idiots to join his cause, but like he's taking down corrupt politicians and like exposing these like deep dark city secrets that are affecting like a bunch of people, like a bunch of poor people in the city that are like getting addicted to, I forget what they call it. There's like this drug that, but it isn't like a name, like a real drug, because that's a little too real, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, it just affects all these people, but the city is just covering it up, and it's very corrupt. He's like exposing it, so in a way, you're like, oh, this is. If he was going up through it by other means, it would be pretty good. But he's murdering people and doing terrorism, so that's not good, I would say. Hot take.
What?
I know.
Extremely hot take.
So I think that was very compelling, and watching the detective stuff I thought was fantastic. I thought that all of the different clues and mysteries and stuff surrounding that was great. And then it takes a big ol' right turn with all of the Falcone stuff, with the Catwoman and Falcone, Black Mask, except he isn't called Black Mask in this movie. I don't know why. He's just the mob, which is like the least fun part of any like Batman thing, because Batman has a whole bunch of really cool villains. Like Batman is the least important and least interesting part of all of these movies. Like the villains are like the most interesting thing ever. And so then like it takes a long time focusing on the mob. It's like, why? I get that you want to like drench it in realism and have it like, I don't know, have it be a little bit more real. But also you have a guy named the Penguin, and he talks like he talks in the movie, like with a weird Brooklyn accent. I don't know, it's weird. And then it kind of comes back to the Riddler stuff in the end, and the ending's fantastic. It's just there's that little misstep where I think they focus on the mob stuff for like a little bit too long. And it is a long movie. I think there could be some stuff cut, and I think it would, honestly, all that I would cut would be the mob stuff. I don't think it's all that important. Because the Riddler stuff is just so intriguing to me. So a little bit disappointing, but that being said, I gave it 4.5 stars. I really liked it. I liked everything about it. So, except for that. So, that is my number 6 movie of the year.
Epic.
Thank you.
Do I go?
You do go now. Yes.
Okay. I got Morbius at number 5.
Let's go.
This
Great.
movie sucks.
And you put it at number 5.
That's all I have to say. I like the scene a lot where the bad guy has to like get dressed or something, does push-ups, and it's just saying "have sex" in the background music.
That is a scene.
That's probably my favorite part. And then it transitions by like using like stock footage of like bats coming at the screen.
Mm-hmm.
It's really cool.
Yeah, as soon as Morbius went digital, that was like the clip that I saw going around. And I'm like, what is this movie?
It's like it's shoehorned right in the middle too. Like it's so out of pace and tone. But like it happens, and it's the best thing that could happen. The movie's horrible. Go watch it.
Go watch it. I think it's on Netflix. I think Netflix for some reason just bought that as soon as it came out.
They knew it was gonna be a big hit.
Okay. My number 5 is a recent movie. Well, it's not recent, but I just recently watched it. It's RRR. I talked about it a couple weeks ago, maybe last week. Last week. Just a fun movie. I went more in depth with it last week, so I won't talk. I won't talk about it for as long as I talked about the Batman. But yeah, just a fun movie. It's got heart and music and action. It's fun. It's campy when it needs to be, and it's serious when it needs to be, and it does a pretty good job of a tribute to these two people who fought against the British Empire. So that's what you want.
Yeah, heck the British.
Yeah. So that's my number 5. RRR. Go see it.
Awesome. Number 4, I have Money Plane, baby.
What is this list?
Money Plane came out in 2020, but nobody knows about it, so it came out in 2022.
Let's
This
go.
movie has the Edge from WWE in it.
How is the Money Plane better than
really
Morbius?
It is better than Morbius. Like, no joke, it is better than Morbius. Morbius is just such a nothing of a movie. Money Plane's at least funny because I could count how many times they said money plane, and it's
No,
in
that
like the
is funny.
20s.
True.
Yeah, but you have Edge in there making his acting debut. I think
Yep,
he's like the most vanilla white bread actor ever.
that is true.
Yeah, it kind of sucks a lot. Their budget's not big. Um, it's really bad, but like it's still entertaining because it's Money Plane. You know what I mean?
I can't believe you
Very
put.
funny.
I can't believe you put Money Plane,
I had to fill out 5 spots. Okay,
and you haven't seen 4 movies that came out this year.
not that I know of. I did see 4 movies that came out this year. Movies came out this year.
Okay, I guess that's fair.
Morbius is as good as 4 movies.
Yes.
Uh, he was also in that Vikings show, The Edge.
Oh, was he?
Yeah,
That
Vikings.
makes sense.
Yeah. I thought I saw that he was going to be in something else. Oh, yeah. He's going to be Ares in the Percy Jackson show.
Oh my god.
That's right. Yeah. Great stuff. What are we at? Number 4?
Yes.
Number 4 is The Whale. Just saw it
Whale.
today. Oh boy, is this movie just incredibly difficult to watch. Yes, for those who don't know, this movie has been insanely polarizing for some reason. But that is not totally out of the ordinary for Darren Aronofsky's stuff. Usually it's you either love it or you absolutely hate it. This is my first movie of his. But the critic score on Rotten Tomatoes is like a 60 something. The audience is at like a 92, 93 last time I checked. So audience score really liked it. I don't know what the critics don't like about it because it is like
Well,
the
they're
artsiest.
critics.
Yeah, it might be. Well, no, that's not true. It's not the artsiest movie I've seen this year because that's definitely Banshees of Inisherin, which is not on this list for
Oh,
the record. Because you know me, I hate artsy stuff.
yeah, you do.
I do.
You hate art.
Oh, that's not true. I hate artsy stuff. Like it's too pretentious, you know? I need a story. I need like a solid story and stakes and drama. Like give me that and I don't care. You could look like
Waba.
trash. I love Troll 2. That's a bad movie. That's just fun. I don't care. The Whale though is it is flash and substance, I would say. This movie is just utterly devastating. I'm not gonna go too much into story because it literally just came out,
And it'll make us sad.
and it
Spoiler
will.
Embargo is not lifted.
It is not lifted. That being said, it's my number 4 pick, so I'll have to say something about it. But I guess I'll give like a very general plot synopsis of it. It follows Brendan Fraser, who is like a morbidly obese man, and he like the movie starts and like he's having a heart attack. It's really, I mean, it's not funny, but like he's watching gay porn because he's a gay man. That is important to the plot.
Okay.
Yeah, he's watching gay porn and he's like jacking off, and as he's like, you know, he's reaching the climax, if you will. Then
You will.
he's having a heart attack, and as he's like dying, a missionary knocks on the door, and he just like the door is unlocked, so the missionary opens the door and sees that, and so then he like tries to help him, and that's the start of the movie. Is
awesome.
he's having a heart attack. His friend comes over, who's a nurse, and she's like, your blood pressure, I think it's like 216 over 130. I don't know much
Nice.
about blood pressure, but that's really bad.
That's more than twice what both of them should be, if I remember.
Yeah. He has congestive heart failure, which basically means that he's going to die by the end of the week. And so you see like, because that's on Monday, so then you see every single day as he is slowly dying in his apartment. He refuses to get health care. doesn't want to go to the hospital. But over the course of the movie, he's trying to reconnect with his daughter, he is estranged with, played by Sadie Sink from Stranger Things, who does fantastic. She maybe gives the best performance. I know a lot of people are really praising Brendan, and yes, you should be praising Brendan always. But she also just gives a phenomenal performance. She also did really good in the new season of Stranger Things. So I would love to see more from her. I'd love to see her in more A24 stuff. Because, just love to see A24 movies. So, yeah. Estranged with her. The missionary guy becomes like a regular. Because he's like, oh, you're dying. This is the best part. It's like, this is the only time where the things I do matter, so I need to save your soul. And Brendan Fraser, for unexplained, well, there is an explanation, but I'm not going to say what it is. He is not into that at all. So, yeah. But it's just very good. It's a good story. And by the end, oh boy. I didn't, cry, but it's like the first time, a tear has fallen down my face.
Single
That's called
tear.
A
crying,
single
my guy.
tear.
It's
In the
okay. You can say you
theater.
cried.
I did. I opened it by saying that I cried, but it wasn't like I was weeping or sobbing or something. I was just like,
Oh,
I
we
was
know you were
really,
weeping.
really choked up. I was not weeping. I would say so.
It
I'm
was a
not afraid.
waterfall. I know it was.
It was so loud that they had to
I
kick
know.
him out of the theater.
That's it. Yes, but go see it. It's not a super long movie. I think it's an hour 50.
What?
Yeah. So that's good.
Nothing
And
nowadays.
and it's in 4:3 to preserve the director's vision.
Let's go.
Let's go.
I love that. I just love it. It's so good. Highly, highly recommend it. If you are sad, don't watch this movie. Like, for real. I have some body image things and some dysmorphia stuff, and watching him scarf down the food, I had to I was probably I was covering my almost to my entire face except for just my eyes in my coat. I was recoiling so much and it made me cringe really bad. So maybe that's why it affected me so much, is some of that. But man, just a great movie. I love it. So that's my number 4, which means
That's
we're only
awesome.
going up
Nice.
from here.
Let's go. Number 3, I have The Batman.
Oh, there you
Let's
go.
go.
This movie's slightly better than Money Plane.
Only slightly better than Money
It's,
Plane.
it's a lot better than Money Plane.
Fractionally.
I don't like superhero movies a lot, but this was pretty great.
Yeah.
It was very grounded, which I enjoyed. Pretty much just echoing what Jerry already said for most of it. Yeah, I really enjoyed this. I loved the length of it and everything. I felt like a good slow burn in between the action and stuff was great. I love the little puzzles. That's my favorite part of it. And when he goes, no,
That's
that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
I also like that the Joker is British. That's kind of funny too.
That is also funny.
But yeah, I love the little puzzles. It felt like there was stakes. It was dark. It was moody, but not too dark or too moody.
Yeah, it
just
didn't
don't
feel like a
watch it in
Zack
car
Snyder thing.
because you won't be able to
Oh.
see at all.
No.
Or if you have a glare on your TV from a window, close the window because you will not be able to see.
No.
So, other than that, it's not too moody or anything. It's perfect, I think. But yeah, love the atmosphere of it. I think Robert Pattinson is fantastic as the Batman.
Yes.
And yeah, I thought it was really good. I'm definitely into this trilogy. I think this is going to be a good one.
Yes. I
I'm
think
not
so.
too big into superhero stuff, but it definitely
I'm not either.
still was pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. Very, very impressed with that movie.
Yes, sir.
I'm excited for the Penguin spinoff and the Arkham Asylum spinoff. Those might be good. I don't know. Maybe. My number 3. My number 3 is The Fablemans. Surprising everyone, even myself, that a Spielberg movie is this high.
Oh,
A modern Spielberg movie is this high, I suppose I should say. This guy really went from Ready Player One to West Side Story to one of the best movies he's ever made. And I, I don't say that lightly because this guy has a career of making just some of the best blockbusters of all time. He also made Schindler's List. That's it. That's all he's
Those
done.
are the only movies
He's made E.T., Indiana Jones, The Goonies, and Schindler's List. And now he finally came out with a new movie called The Fablemans. Oh boy, is this a good movie. I don't know if it's kind of the vibe I'm getting is that it's a filmmaker's movie. That people who are super into making movies as kids or are currently into making movies are gonna get a whole lot out of this. Because there is that, like, it feels very nostalgic towards movies, and not in like a kind of beat you over the head way that like some nostalgia for movies kind of are. I don't know if that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's like some, there's some movies that are like, oh, cinema, oh, it's the art, oh, it's so great. This is like
Oh, fantastic.
whatever. Like, as much as I like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I think it's a great movie. It's one of Tarantino's best. I know that's a hot take, but that is my genuine opinion. So much of that is I love the film industry. I miss old Hollywood, like all that kind of nostalgic, like whatever. Because there's still great movies being made, and this is a great example of that. Just a really, really solid kind of biopic. I know he says that it's not a biopic, but come on, he has the same background as this kid. I'm sure that a lot of the movie tricks that this kid uses were the ones that he used. And a lot of it does a really good job of kind of encapsulating how hard it can be to pursue art as a like means of living, you know. My parents were pretty supportive of all that, but when I went to art school, there were a lot of people who were like, I need to do well in this because my parents are like essentially betting on me to fail. And that is the vibe of this movie where like his dad continually just calls his filmmaking a hobby. Oh, it's a hobby. You'll go into computer science like your old man. When
Nerd.
Like, yeah, he is a nerd, and he's played by Paul Dano. Second appearance.
Oh, big nerd.
He goes, no, movie making. That's not how Paul Dano sounds at all. But, yeah. Great movie. I went into it because I wanted to see David Lynch. David Lynch is in it, very briefly, but he has one of the best scenes in the movie. It's just a great movie. If you haven't seen it, I don't know if it's still playing in theaters. But this is definitely one to see. This isn't a modern Spielberg movie where he just kind of cashes in a check, phones it in, and then makes like a blockbuster that is probably good, but there's like no heart to it. This is like full of heart. This is just heart, and it's great. So watch The Fablemans. It's great movie. That is my last 4.5 star, by the way. From here on out, I consider these last two movies perfect.
I can't wait for Morbius.
I know. It's
Morbius.
coming.
Let's go. Number 2, I have Dope. I really like this movie. I don't think it's as good as Get Out, but I still enjoyed it quite a bit. I feel like a take on an alien movie that wasn't like overcomplicated was very cool.
Yes.
It was kind of quirky, like really quirky, kind of spooky. I think Kiki Palmer did fantastic in this movie, especially, and Stephen Young. I love him as well.
Yes.
Yeah, the monkey in this movie is terrifying.
Scariest monkey I've ever seen.
The scariest monkey I've ever seen, even though it was a CGI monkey. Yeah, you could tell, but it was terrifying.
Yeah.
That was the scariest part of the movie. The alien wasn't even scary.
No, it wasn't. The monkey was frightening.
Yeah, I love the atmosphere of this movie. It's very tense, very casual still, though. There's still some funny moments in it. Um, it's a very 2022 movie. There's a lot of like, it just kind of seemed like a movie that was just playing on cultural norms of today. There wasn't any like fancy artsy or anything. It was literally just like dudes that work on a horse farm, and then all of a sudden an alien comes out of nowhere
Yeah.
and just starts like eating everything.
Nice.
Yeah.
There's like it's one of these things where it's like overarching messages: don't tamper with nature, all that kind of
Nature
stuff. But like,
beautiful.
it's a good thriller. It's fun. It's quirky.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely like one of the more unique alien movies I've seen for sure.
Yes.
Just in the way that everything's set up, and even with like the ending area, spoilers lightly, with like all the colorful smoke and like wacky inflatable tube men and all these fun little things. Like it was just a really fun watch and really engaging.
Yeah.
Yeah, so nothing too fancy about it, but I just really enjoyed it.
Yes. Very, very good movie. That didn't quite make my list. I think I'll probably bring it up in the honorable mentions section, but great. Yeah, it's a good movie. All right, this was tough because I've seen two movies this year that I think are essentially perfect. I would change literally nothing about either of these movies, but which one would I rather see? Very, very hard decision. But I think my number two, and this might be a hot take, my number two is Everything Everywhere All at Once. Ah! I know that's probably going to be your number one. Maybe. I don't know.
Correct.
Correct. I saw this movie like right when it came out. And then I saw it 3 more times in theaters after that. This definitely was like, I don't think this one was one that was on a whole lot of people's radar. Well, now everything that the Daniels are going to be doing from here on out, it's going to be like, oh, we got to watch this. They made a movie called Swiss Army Man with Daniel Radcliffe. And is it Paul Dano? It is Paul Dano. Yeah, it's Paul Dano and Daniel Radcliffe. And I think that one got like kind of mid reviews. I know some people love it, but it isn't like a super crazy good movie. And then they swing back with Everything Everywhere, which is it's just great. I love any movie that deals with kind of existentialism that isn't too nihilistic, or all kind of like there is no point, whatever. I need the hope because I don't want to watch a movie and leave feeling worse. That's kind of the that's kind of my grade. I watch movies to feel good. I don't want to feel worse. So I'm never gonna watch a freaking David Cronenberg body horror movie because that's gonna make me feel gross. I also watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre this year. That also made me feel gross, and I never want to see that ever again. And I don't know why people love that movie so much. You guys are all perverts. I hate you. Anyways, back to Everything Everywhere. I don't have a whole lot to say. That I don't want to talk too much about it because Baby's going to talk about it later. But yes, very good. In a past life, I would have loved to do laundry and do taxes with you.
True.
Something like that. One of my favorite quotes to come out of a movie, period, and I didn't even say it right. I don't remember exactly what it is.
Wow.
But you know what you know the scene I'm talking about. Gets me every time. Very good. That's my number two.
Awesome. Well, you know what my number one is, I guess.
Spoiler.
Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. Wow, what a surprise!
What?
Wow.
Yeah, this movie's like I think it's like a perfect movie. I think I can say that.
I just said it.
Or anything. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, the movie is literally what the title is, which is really fun. Everything is just like so Loctite in there. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, the way they tackle existentialism and everything is really fantastic. I think especially like just the downfall of like everything right now and everything sucks it was so good to like watch and experience that like put a different perspective in there. Um, it was like kind of insane. This is like the only time like I could feel tension in the theater, like live. It was such a weird thing. Like when the movie
Yes.
ended, usually people get out of their seats like as soon as the credits start rolling.
Mm-hmm.
Like this movie ended and people just sat there in silence for like 2 minutes. It was kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it was just like there was multiple points during that movie where people were just like, "Oh my god!" Like you can tell everybody's just like enamored by what's happening.
Yes,
Um,
the rock
yeah,
scene.
yes,
Yes.
specifically,
No.
yeah. But it's funny. The action's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
The message is great. Every single character is really well done. It's quirky. It's off the wall. The cinematography is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Like the message at the heart of the movie is really unique and something I feel like hasn't been done a lot. And I like that this is like a take on the multiverse kind of trend right now too.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it did it the best that it will ever be done, and I never have to watch another multiverse movie again, except for the new Spider Verse movie. That's my exception.
Well, that's gonna hopefully be
Yeah,
good.
but after all the Marvel stuff and everything, it's like I'm
Oh
so sick of that genre.
no,
But then
yeah,
this thing
it's
came
dumb.
out, blew all of them out of the water, and just ended it. So
Right. Yeah, I think it was a little unfortunate because that movie came out in I think February,
mhm,
and then Multiverse of Madness, Doctor
yes,
Strange 2 came out in like beginning of April. And
yeah,
I this is something that both me and Grant were just like, okay. Like after seeing everything and how to properly use the multiverse, it's like going back and seeing dumb Marvel try to do it. It's just like, okay, you're not even close, guy.
true.
Yeah.
But yeah, fantastic experience. I have seen it twice actually. I rarely rewatch movies. Usually, I usually get the gist in the first time. Um, yeah, did rewatch this one. Still is fantastic.
So
Rewatching it's actually fun too because you
it
get like
is.
all
There's a lot
you
of
know
stuff that you
everything
pick
that
up.
happens. There's a
Yeah.
lot of little Easter eggs and stuff planted everywhere,
Mm-hmm.
which is super fun. So
Yeah. I love the like
fantastic.
foreshadowing Easter eggs. And
Yes.
like since I've seen it so many times, I can say that like honestly I got something new out of it every single
Hmm.
time, which is
Yep.
the end goal. That's what you
Yep.
want. Yeah. It's great. I probably won't get anything new out of Dune, even though I love Dune.
Even though it's great.
It's great. It's a good movie, but like I think
Yeah.
the end goal is like you want something that really pushes people to return to because
Yeah.
that's what art
I
should
mean,
be, right?
you're gonna leave this movie feeling like with a different perspective too, which is
Yeah.
incredibly rare.
It's
So
it's so crazy that it
yeah.
was able to achieve that. It was one of two movies that were able to do that this year.
True.
I will now announce the other one.
Morbius.
Morbius, it
Let's
really
go.
changed me as a person. Before I'm gonna do honorable mentions, I know you probably don't have any because you
I
put
have zero.
Morbius and Money Plane on the actual top five. Honorable mentions, I'm gonna put Turning Red. A pretty good modern Pixar movie. They haven't been like super consistent. Soul was great. Coco, fantastic. One of the best. Turning Red, pretty solid. Highly stylized Pixar, which I think we need more of. It was like anime inspired. Just a fun, just a fun movie. And my, I think it might be like my girlfriend's favorite, because she's a single child, and it was the whole thing with that is single child syndrome. So she really identified with that one. I don't, but I thought it was really good. So I put that on honorable mentions. I'll talk about Nope. Not at all. It's pretty good. I don't
Watch it.
know. It's good. Yeah. I don't really know. I wouldn't. Yeah. I don't know. I don't have a whole lot to say about that movie. It's just fun. Elvis. I don't know. It was decent. There's funny moments in it. Austin Butler deserves all the praise he gets for portraying Elvis, but Tom Hanks is weird. Like I don't. It's not a great casting because it's Tom Hanks. Like I cannot see him as a evil bad guy. It's Tom Hanks. It's Forrest Gump you're talking about. I can't see him as the bad guy. That's Woody from Toy Story. You're trying to tell me that he's the guy who exploited Elvis for everything he was worth? I don't believe it. That's all
Just
right.
knew Woody was a crook.
He was a crook. The Banshees of Inisherin. This is pretentious, artsy bullshit. If you like this kind of stuff, then you're really going to like it. It's probably going to be your annoying friend with a Letterboxd account. It's probably going to be their favorite movie of the year. That's all I need to say about it. It's cinema. The cinematography is fantastic. The messages, the message of the themes are all fantastic and how it worked. But the story is boring, and there's not enough happens. Which I sound like such a stupid like Marvel fan kind of movie watcher for saying that, but whatever. I'm gonna say it. I love Martin McDonough. Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, and In Bruges. Fantastic movies. They're both of those are probably 4 stars and above, if not 4.5. In Bruges is one of my favorite movies. This just ain't it, Chief. Sorry. But it's gonna. I'll guarantee you, all of the annoying film publications are gonna have it as their number one. So there you go. Bros, watch Bros. Great rom com. One of my favorites. I don't know. All the straight people watching this, you should watch it. Billy Eichner blames you for it not doing well in the cinema, so it's your fault. It's not bad marketing. It's straight people's fault. It's the same with that new Disney movie, the Strange World one. They're like, we're done. Gay characters, we're not going to have it in no movie, even though we marketed it horribly. And no, we'll put it in like bad, like, I don't know. They did not do a good job with that movie. And then because of that, they pulled the plug on making openly gay characters so that they could ship it to China at least and have it do well. And it's like, all right, so you guys are a bunch of cowards. But watch Bros. Also, Glass Onion. It's a good one. Not as good as the other movies on this list. Pretty solid follow-up to Knives Out. Knives Out, I have 1/2 star better than Glass Onion. But once Glass Onion gets going, it gets going. And it's pretty good. So, watch it. It's on Netflix now. But my number one is Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. I'm a coward. I did it. I put it as my number one movie. I kind of feel bad because of how much I loved everything. But, man, this movie just makes me feel good. Even though the ending of it's kind of bittersweet. Again, this kind of deals with existentialism. Why can't I say that word? Existentialism. But in a way that is not super depressing. It's like finding meaning of life after loss. Not the comic, but the I don't know. The idea of loss. Obviously, like Geppetto makes Pinocchio after his son dies because he's very sad and he becomes an alcoholic, and also it's fascist Italy. I need to bring up that, yes, it is fascist Italy. I've seen so many dumb people be like, so Guillermo del Toro just sets his stuff in fascist Italy randomly and then is confused when the movie doesn't do well. It's like, first of all, the movie was doing insanely well in the theaters. Netflix pulled it early. Also, it was number one on Netflix for like 2 weeks straight. So, don't even know what you're talking about. And then it wasn't random. It is very explicitly anti-fascist and portrays fascists as all like at the same time dumb and scary, which is exactly what they are. Because yeah. So there's that, and also Pinocchio is immortal because he was given a soul, even though he shouldn't be able to be alive. Then every time he dies, he comes back. So, he's going to watch all of his friends and family around him die, and then he just has to move on. And that's kind of the point of the movie, and it's kind of sad and depressing, but also it's like, yeah, there's a little bit of like, Okay. It's fun, though. It's fun. There's good songs. Ciao Papa's a banger. I'll say it. Also, I love Ewan McGregor. He's my favorite. He plays the cricket. He's not called Jiminy Cricket because copyright. He's called Sebastian J. Cricket. Get around Disney. Yeah.
Round.
That's a great cast. It also has Christoph Waltz in it, who is the Nazi guy in Inglourious Bastards and the bounty hunter man in Django Unchained. Just a fun German guy. He plays the circus leader, and it's kind of fun because it's Christoph Waltz. I've seen him deliver a very scary monologue to a French peasant family, and now he's like a fun circus man. So that's kind of fun.
But transformation.
Well, a good transformation. But I need to give a special highlight to the animation here. It is stop motion animation, and most of it is practical. There's obviously like CG stuff with like effects and stuff like that, but Netflix has been releasing behind the scenes stuff, and the amount of stuff that they're able to do practically it's phenomenal. I honestly can't believe that some of the stuff in this movie is done practically. Kind of like Fableman's. I think this is also kind of a filmmaker's movie. Not in the way that Fableman's is, but if you are someone that likes the art of filmmaking and kind of is into the craft of it, you're going to appreciate a whole lot of stuff in this. Because it's like, man, that shot must have taken just months to do, and it's like so small, but it's so crazy how they're able to do this stuff. It's great. I highly recommend it. And if you're a fan of Guillermo del Toro or you're a fan of Over the Garden Wall, then check it out because it's written by both of those guys. So do it now. It's great.
Do it.
It's on Netflix. So I think that's it.
We did it.
That's list week.
Hooray.
You did.
Part one.
Tune in next week on the Boy Time channel if you want to know our top albums of the year. We'll do top albums of the year and then top albums we reacted to. So I'm going to try not to do any crossover.
Yeah. I've already cross-checked my lists. I'm good.
Okay,
no crossover episodes.
No crossover episodes.
Dang.
Unfortunately.
Those.
So tune in if you want to know that. Usually we make it one big spectacular. I feel like we've done that in the past. I think we did it on the Boy Time channel last year.
Yeah, it was too much editing and too much work, so we're cutting it down.
We're cutting it down.
And it was too long, so not enough people watched it.
Yes. So we're splitting it up.
Yes.
So that'll be good. So there you go. Tune in to that. Check out the Twitter at BoyTimeYT.
You can say that again.
I can say that again. I'm very excited to be able to say that again. We've been getting, I got a like on the one tweet on the first tweet, I got a like. And I'm like, wow, this is great. People missed me. I don't know. I don't know if that's true. The whole that tweet was just a setup to a joke, though. It was my first tweet was, now that the Boy Time Twitter is unbanned, I will only use this platform for good and honest debate. No more shenanigans and possibly offensive shit from this old boy. And then the next tweet was, M. Night Shyamalan's career is on the upswing since every studio he makes movies for exclusively releases his stuff in January or February now. The months exclusively for shitty horror movies. I'm looking at you, Megan, or whatever that dumb doll chick's name is. Got more views on the angry one. What does that tell me?
Megan in it.
Yeah, it is.
Because Megan the Stallion stuff.
No, not Megan the Stallion. It's the M3GAN.
Ah, okay.
It's a shitty horror movie that's coming out in February that people are excited for. But little did they know it's coming out in February. The only good movie that's ever come out in February is Everything Everywhere All at Once. And that's because A24 doesn't block their movies like that. But big time studios like When they know that something is going to fail, they will release it in January and February. Which is why M. Night Shyamalan's movies come out in January or February. I think his new one comes out in February with Dave Bautista.
Let's go.
So, check out the Twitter. Hopefully, still here by the time this podcast comes out.
If you get banned this quick again, like, I don't know what's wrong.
I don't know how I get banned from Elon Musk Twitter.
Yeah, you're gonna have to really mess up, I think.
Yeah.
You'd have to send his exact coordinates.
I wanted to joke about doxing his jet ski, but I'm like,
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think I can do that. So, there you go. Boy Time Podcast.